2 more guests to go. They're coming on together. Very excited about this. We're being joined right now via the magic of Skype. Top contender in the middleweight division, Yoel Romero. There he is. And his manager, Malki Kawa. Hey, guys. How are you? Hola.
How are you?
Good, thank you.
Good.
How are you?
Look at that English. I like it, Yoel. Very nice job. Okay, there's a lot to get to here, but before we get to Yoel, Malki, of course, you represent the great Jon Jones. A lot of stories out there today about his drive. What can you tell us about Jon?
He was pulled over for a minor traffic violation, and he was cited for not having his paperwork with him. He'll be in court Wednesday, and he will do just like the rest of us do when we get a ticket. He'll go to court, and he'll either get it dismissed, or the judge will say, you got to get your paperwork together, whatever it is. So no big deal. It's really no big deal. I'm not really understanding all the hype behind it, but, hey, it's Jon Jones.
So this doesn't affect April 23rd, right?
No, sir, at all. Doesn't affect April 23rd, doesn't affect his probation, doesn't affect anything. You got a ticket just like the rest of us do.
Okay, so you're 100% sure, because people are freaking out, as is Daniel Cormier. Everyone's freaking out.
1,000% sure that Jon Jones is perfectly fine. Okay. He's doing phenomenal. He's doing great. He's in training camp. He's doing awesome.
Okay, glad to hear. Okay, now let's move along. And if I can ask you, can you turn the audio down a little bit? Because I'm getting some feedback off the computer, I think.
How about now?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay.
Yoel, let me talk to you first. This has been a very interesting time for you after the fight. You get a big win over Jacare. This news comes out that you've been provisionally suspended, and everyone under the sun is calling you a cheater, a liar, all this. Everyone's piling it on you. What has it been like? We'll get into the facts, but what has this been like for you as you sit on the sidelines and have to listen to everyone, especially just kind of disparage your name?
I believe everything is something happened in the life for something, I want to say thank you for USADA, because USADA worked a lot about this situation, and now everything is clean. Everything, I know everything what happened. I want to the people know what is the situation, what happened in this situation. I have for 30 years, I do a sport, professional sport. I go for the World Championship, Olympic game, I never take it something like this. I never take it in my life. I don't need it. I don't do nothing, And now the USADA work a lot. I tell you, and now because he wanted to say my name is my performance is not. I don't do it. I don't do nothing, Que yo quiero decirle que USADA trabajó duro.
He wants to tell everybody that USADA has been working real hard
para poder esclarecer.
To clear, the situation, to kind of let everybody, to kind of, let me kind of answer it for you in a way.
Okay, well, tell us what happened, because I know you can explain it better than
so
English. Go ahead.
Basically what happened was that we got notified that he and like how USADA always does whenever there's a potential, findings in the drug test, right? And his drug test came back that supposedly he popped for something. And he was totally caught off guard. And he was shocked, right? He was like, hey, look, I didn't do this. And so for us as his managers, and for most people like yourselves in the media and everything like that, if he would have came out and said, hey, I didn't do this, everybody would have thought, okay, yeah, right. You got a blood test that says one thing, and then you've got you saying something different. And what basically happened was, he took a certain supplement after the fight, okay, that was contaminated. It had an illegal substance in it. Now, I know everybody's probably going to say, well, hold on a second. All right, we've heard this story before. The reason why he keeps saying, USADA worked hard and this and that and the other, and honestly, it's a lot of credit that goes to USADA and Jeff Nowitzki and the whole, everybody that was involved in it. He maintained his innocence the whole time. He got visited by USADA after the fact. There were certain things that happened between the thing. He provided them the supplements that he took. And there was one specific supplement he took after the fight. And he said, this is the supplement that I took. When you read the label, there's nothing in there. It's a natural supplement. It's supposed to be as clean as possible. It's something that anybody could have taken. And if everything that on the label would have been in there, we never would even be here. It ended up being that this particular supplement was contaminated with the product that he failed for. We ended up buying the product. We ended up sending it out for our own independent testing. And then USADA went ahead and did their own independent research of this product and, getting of the product and all this other stuff, and did their investigation. And they came back and they found out that there's a contamination problem with this particular supplement. So not just Yoel Romero, anybody else who's been taking the supplement has this, banned substance in their system right now.
What was the substance?
I can't. Here's the only thing, Ariel. We really can't get into too many details as far as what the supplement was or the substance that he failed for, because USADA still is investigating this thing, and not just on this level, but on another level as well. So I don't want to hinder any type of their investigation or anything that's going on right now at this point.
Okay, so the A sample comes back obviously positive, and you asked for the B sample to be tested. That came out positive as well, right?
Correct.
Okay, but now you have since found out that the substance, whatever it is contaminated, correct?
Correct.
USADA is in agreement with this? They did their testing.
Correct.
So now what do they say?
Well, that's the part. We're still getting all that stuff worked out, and we should hopefully have a resolution for Yoel by the end of this week.
Is it possible that Yoel walks away with no suspension, no punishment, no fine, no nothing?
Well, I think from what I understand the code to be written, in cases like this, it can be as minimal as a public warning, and it can be as much as the full 2-year suspension that they give for somebody who's using PEDs. We feel, all right, the fact that with all the facts that are out there and with everything that we know and everything that he's saying and everything that's already been corroborated by the testing that's been taking place by many different people, that that he did not do anything knowingly. I mean, listen, it's bottom line this. The supplement has a label with a bunch of stuff on it. None of that is illegal to take. What he got popped for is not on the label, so it's obviously not his fault that he popped for this. That's our position on it at this point. So, obviously we're in the hands of USADA and we're working with them hand in hand. All I can say is that USADA has been great to work with so far. They've gone above and beyond what I think I could have asked of them to do for us in this case. Jeff Nowitzki, the guy that works for the UFC that's in charge of this program, has done a phenomenal job of keeping us on point with what we have to do. All of our rights, all of our options. And if it wasn't for that, I don't know that we would be in the position that we're in today. I think his biggest goal with this interview was just to kind of let people know, hey, I didn't cheat. I didn't take any PEDs. I definitely didn't do anything wrong. The fact that I failed the drug test, he understands that. He's we'll take responsibility for taking the supplement. But again, you know what I'm saying, Ariel? That's like if I gave you, a pack of gum and you take it knowing that, hey, it's a pack of gum and it ends up having something in it that you had no idea about, I had no idea about, and then, now all of a sudden you're looking at a failed drug test. That's the best way I can probably, give it to you.
And just a quick follow-up, why not say what it is so that people can research and see, like, oh, wow, there is actually a problem here. Like, why can't you say?
Oh, we will, but the thing is, I don't want to interfere with USADA's investigation right now.
Okay.
USADA's got some other stuff going on, and I don't want to mess that up. So that's the reason why we're not going to get into the supplement, name of the supplement, the company that produces it, or the actual stuff that he popped for, because it's at a higher level than us right now.
Yoel, what do you think should happen? Do you think that there should be no punishment at all, that you didn't know you didn't know that this was in there and you should be able to fight, whenever you want? Or are you expecting that they're going to give you something?
¿Qué tú crees que debería pasar? ¿Que no haya ningún castigo o tú estás esperando que algo pase, que te castiguen de una forma, o tú crees que no debería haber ningún tipo de castigo como tú no sabías qué tipo de castigo había?
I think it's my responsibility is taking something, but I think is maybe warning, public warning, because I don't know. Nobody knows. When you see the supplement is outside. He says it's clean.
Yeah.
You can take it. But that's what I think. I think that's what happened. And the final day is a warning public.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of making a public warning, if you will, they came out last month and said that you have been provisionally suspended. Do you wish in hindsight, and Malki, feel free to weigh in after he responds, that they kind of, let you test the B sample, let all this and then come out with something, as opposed to coming out right away, not telling a lot of information, and everyone then calling you a cheater and piling on and all this stuff happening to you?
Que si deberían primero ellos hacer todos los requisitos para chequear sample A y sample B antes que te puedan poner atención y decirle al mundo entero que estabas haciendo algo que potencialmente a lo mejor esto es lo que está pasando. Que ellos deberían haber hecho de una forma diferente, esperar a hacer todo.
You know, que me dolió.
It hurt him. It hurt him.
Es mi nombre.
It's his name.
Yo soy una persona que trato de ser lo más correcto posible.
He tries to be, he's the type of person that tries to do everything as correct and as possible.
Principalmente con mi equipo, con los fanáticos.
First of all, with his team and with his fans.
First of all, for his team and his fans. You know what I mean?
Con mi familia.
For his family.
Y conmigo mismo.
And for himself. You know what I mean? He tries to do everything right.
Porque toda mi vida he entrenado muy duro.
His whole entire life, he's trained very hard.
Yo me abstengo de muchas cosas en la vida.
He abstains from a lot of stuff in life.
Para poder lograr no un título mundial, sino para poder sostener a mi familia.
To reach not just a world title, but to maintain my family.
Not to just maintain a world title area, but to also maintain his family.
Si yo cometiera una cosa de estas,
if I would commit one of these things,
he says that if he would have committed, what they're saying, done one of these things,
estoy corriendo el riesgo.
I'm running a risk.
He's like, I'm running a risk
de no poder
that he can't
soportarle la
that he can't support his family and help his family.
Mm-hmm.
Pienso más en mi familia que en un título.
He thinks more about his family than he does some title.
Yo estoy consciente.
He's conscious. That what he said. He's conscious.
De que si se toma uno de estas sustancias,
that if he takes one of these substances,
te van a coger.
That they're going to catch him.
Yo llevo muchos años como atleta olímpico.
He's got a lot of years being an Olympic athlete.
Llevo 30 años de atleta.
30 years of athletics.
Sí, y estoy consciente de que una gente que tome sustancias lo van a coger.
That he's always been conscious of the fact that if someone takes a substance, that there's, the fact that they could get caught.
Si yo lo hago,
that if he does that,
estoy corriendo a ciencia exacta.
I'm running at 100% science, exact science.
He says, I'm running at 100% exact science.
Que me van a coger.
That they're going to catch me.
Y serían mínimo 2 años de suspensión.
And he says that they're giving, and the suspension would be a minimum of 2 years.
2 años que dejaré de poderles pagarle quizás en el futuro la universidad, el bienestar de mi familia.
2 years that he would not be able to in the future.
2 years that he would not be able to pay for his, 2 years that would, obviously take away from his earning potential.
Right.
That can't pay for his daughter's college and all that other stuff.
Es ilógico.
He says it's not ideal. It's illogical.
Es estúpido.
It's stupid.
Hacer una cosa de estas.
It's to do something like this. So Ariel, for me to weigh in also, let me just give it to you like this.
Yep.
I actually spoke to Jeff Nowitzki and I said to him, Jeff, originally when we got the A sample back and it came out, I saw him at one of the events. I said, Jeff, I don't understand why, this guy now is guilty without being, given his day in court. I really wish that there was a way for you guys to wait, because if you're telling me that the B sample can come back negative and then this whole thing goes away, then, the reality of it is we should wait till the B sample comes back, or until, some sort of appeals process goes through. And listen, like I said, Ariel, Jeff's has been nothing but a gentleman through this whole process. He's been very helpful. This is my first time going through a PED, allegation and a suspension. And he said to me, he's like, it's something that he's gonna, look at and visit and see if there's something that, there's a way to make it, to change the policy on how they do it. They do this, I think, to be very transparent, and they don't want people, wondering what's going on and things. So they just, put the information out there. But if you ask me my opinion, representing these fighters, especially in this case, how it turned out, I would much rather see them wait until a fighter goes through all his options. And in this case, for this situation, from the time he fought or the time he got tested, which was, second to last week of December until now, it really, wouldn't have hurt anybody if they would have waited. I mean, they only announced the other title fight last week. You follow what I'm trying to say? And we probably will have all this resolved by the end of this week, which means he could have been, still slated to fight for the championship like he was supposed to. And now, obviously, we don't know where where that's going to end up being, when that's going to be, or even what the what the outcome is going to be.
I'll ask you about that in a second, but I just want to ask you similar question that I asked him, Malki. What is your impression that you're getting right now? Are you getting the impression that he's going to get off and there'll be no punishment at all? Do you think that they'll slap him on the wrist? What's the feeling that you have right now?
Again, we just got into those conversations with USADA today. We're going to finish those up hopefully this afternoon and through the rest of the week. Like I said, they're still investigating certain things and they're still going through the stuff. But I would just think, this is again me speaking, not on behalf of USADA or anyone else or thing. When you look at the code and you look at what their rules state and says, it can be as minimal as a public warning, or it could be up to 2 years. I don't expect it to be 2 years. I don't think 2 years would be fair. I don't think that anything again, in my opinion, anything that outside of them saying, hey, look, he really didn't do this knowingly or on purpose. Now, again, he did take the supplement. And this is something that, I hope a lot of other fighters and people understand. If you take a supplement, you run the risk of this happening. You know what I mean? The responsibility still falls on Yoel. He did take the supplement. You follow me? Although it was contaminated and ultimately it wasn't his fault, he still took the supplement. So there's going to be something. What that is, we don't know. I don't know what the feeling of how it's going to go. I obviously can hope for the best and tell you I would like to see him, walk away with this thing with his exonerated from the whole situation without a problem.
Okay, so we saw him UFC 194, big win over Jacare, and it seemed like, all right, that fight was the number one contender fight. It seemed that night that he was the number one contender. Before all this happened, what were you hearing? Was he getting the title shot? And
he was getting the title shot.
He was.
Absolutely, he was.
That was from the UFC?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And is it gone? Because they announced last week in June, Dana, but kind of before all this came out, I think that before you guys finally heard back. So is he going to get it back? Is he going to have to wait?
Well, they announced the other fight now, so obviously, and again, look, Ariel, we're still not out of this. We still don't know what the end result's going to be for him. They can still punish him and say, hey, you still took the product. You're going to be gone for 2 years. We don't expect that, but we don't know what's going to happen, right? So obviously the UFC is not going to sit around and wait. They've got a business to run, and they did their thing. But in our opinion, if let's say Friday comes and they say, hey, you know what, let's call it time served, or hey, public warning, and it's over with. You know what I mean? They've already announced the other fight, so now we've got to sit down and look at what our next option is going to be. And that's what sucks about this whole thing is that here's a guy that was next in line, and we believe would have got the title shot. We think that's what the plan was going to be. And if it wasn't for this, he would be stated to be fighting for the title.
Yeah.
Yoel, what would you like to do in a perfect world? At this point, would you like to, if all goes well, would you like to wait for the winner of that? Do you want to be active and not wait, for the winner of this fight if it happens in June, Weidman, Rockhold 2? What would you like to do in a perfect world?
¿Qué es lo que tú quieres hacer en un mundo perfecto? ¿Esperar a la pelea a ver quién va a ganar entre Weidman y Rockhold o mantenerte activo y pelear a otra persona? ¿Qué es lo que te gustaría de hacer?
I training, I fight, es lo que yo me he ganado. Yo he entrenado, he peleado y he ganado. Estoy ahora en una posición y en esta posición en la que voy a perder. ¿Cuál es mi posición? Pelear por el título mundial.
He says that he trains to fight and that what do you call it? He's in a position where he wants to fight for the world title.
Okay. Can I just say that I think the big revelation of this interview is Malki's Spanish skills. This has been I had no idea.
Hey, Ariel, listen, hold on a second. There's a translator to the left, so when I'm a little bit off, I look over here and he kind of whispering it over to me.
I'm trying to give you credit here, man. Don't pull back the curtain.
But I got to give credit where credit is due because he's over here giving us all the, what do you call it?
Is it the same guy as last time?
No. The same guy as last time has been fired from any type of translating duty.
Good.
Yeah, that's done. That's done.
Well,
somebody else.
Well, props to him as well.
No, that's just another guy.
Muchos love for the other translator.
I was trying to get you to do this in English. To be honest with you, I told him, I said, hey, try to do this in English as much as you can. So he's trying the best that he can right now to try to talk to the fans. You know what I mean? In English.
Let me ask you, has he heard the comments from some of his fellow competitors, people he's fought, and what is his reaction to what they've been saying?
Hold on, let me just make it clear. Tim Kennedy, Michael Bisping, da 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 da.
I hear everybody. I hear now everybody. I have something for everyone. I have, and now I believe in God. Yo tengo corazón de cristiano.
I have the heart of a Christian.
You understood what he said? I have the heart of a Christian.
But
but
ellos no conocen al hombre viejo.
he says they don't know a guy, an old guy, the old Romero.
Oh,
Ellos están buscando a ese hombre viejo.
They're looking for that old Romero,
So he-
the old man.
They're asking for the old Romero. You know what I mean?
Tienen que tener cuidado.
They need to be careful.
oh.
Yeah.
I've
The old Romero from the things I know about the old Romero era, he really wasn't a nice, good guy. I can tell you that much right now.
Puedo
So
ser bien pesado.
I can be real mean.
he says he could be real mean.
I got to tell you.
Muy,
Oh.
menos hablador que Conor McGregor. Menos hablador que Conor.
I don't talk as much as Connor.
He says I don't talk as much as Conor,
Pero
but
puedo ser en el ring más pesado que Conor McGregor.
he says, but I'm a lot more dangerous than Conor. In the ring, I'm a lot more dangerous than Conor McGregor.
Corazón de cristiano, alma de guerrero.
Corazón de cristiano, alma de guerrero.
The heart of a Christian, the soul of a warrior.
Heart of a Christian, soul of a warrior.
I've talked to Yoel for a few years now. This is the most terrifying he's ever been. I just saw a switch go off. Something just changed in him when he started talking about those guys.
Yeah, he's pissed, Errol. He's pissed. I'm gonna say like this.
Yeah.
He read all the comments. He heard all the comments, and he's upset about it because at the end of the day, he knew the whole time that he didn't do anything wrong. Like he didn't knowingly do anything on purpose to try to cheat. And let me also make some things clear. He passed all his pre-fight and fight night tests. All of those came back clean. So this was obviously after the fact. You see what I'm saying? That this thing came up. This is a supplement that he took. You know what I mean? And again, I can't really specify too much what the reasons were and all that, but we will after everything is said and done, and we'll be completely transparent with it. But he feels this thing, and everybody's coming out. Oh, he did this and he did that. He's a cheater and all this because of what they put out in the press release. And it bothered him. It hurt him because it's one thing that for 30 years he's saying that I've been tested, and I'm gonna tell you, when he found out the news about the pill being contaminated, he was at my house. We were actually sitting there letting him know that from the looks of it, the B sample came back positive, and he was going to serve out a 2-year suspension. And I was trying to go through his options, which really weren't many. Okay. In the middle of us talking, he got up and went to the bathroom. And I'm looking at my brother, and I'm like, dude, when are we gonna fucking get the test, the result of the test of the pill back? And Abraham goes, man, I don't know. And he picks up his phone, and he literally his phone went ding when I said that, and he goes, I don't know, man. And as he's checking, he goes, oh, wait a minute. And he goes, you won't believe this. And I look, and I'm like, holy shit. So we start screaming Yoel's name. He was getting to the bathroom in my house. He comes running back. His pants were unbuckled. His belt was unbuckled. Like, he's like, what? And we tell him, like, yo, dude, the pill came back, positive. This is basically what it was. He immediately broke down. You can tell that this weighed on him. It affected him. I've never seen him, like, he cried tears of, like, relief and of, like, grief a little bit because he was really grieving over this thing. It was really, really eating up at him. He didn't sleep a lot of nights. He would call me at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning many times just to, like, figure out what to do, how to do this, how could this possibly be, you know what I mean? And it really, all of it affected him in a lot of ways. So, now he's a little bit more relieved, but he's pissed off.
Okay, final thing before we let you guys go. Do you have any idea when you'll find out the final word on all of this? Like,
I'm hoping, like I said, by the end of this week, Errol, I should hopefully have everything, as far as he's concerned, you know what I mean, resolved.
Okay. Did we cover anything? Anything else you want to bring up?
No?
No? All right.
Is there anything else you
I just want to give you the opportunity because I know he's been quiet, so I just wanted to make sure. I feel like we did, but just in case I forgot anything.
¿Hay algo se te olvidó? ¿Algo quieres decir?
Nada, que gracias a Usada,
He says thank you to USADA again,
a Chef Lewinsky
to Jeff Nowitzki,
y a todas aquellas personas que no creyeron en mí.
And all those people that did not believe in me.
Gracias.
to all the people that didn't believe in me. Also, thank you.
Que no creyeron.
That didn't believe, right? That didn't believe.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Because están sacando algo muy bueno de mí.
That you pulled something out of him that's real
Oh
good.
my.
Es un poquito de ira.
What is
A
it?
little bit of ire.
A little bit of ire.
I understand. Okay, gracias. Shalom, Yoel. All the
Shalom, my brother.
Shalom.
Shalom.
All the best to you, Malki. Thanks.
Gracias para todos
Oh,
los que vinieron.
and he says, but he also says thank you to all the people who did believe
Of
in him
course,
as well.
of course. Malki, thank you for this. I appreciate you setting it up, and good
No
luck.
problem. Thank you, Ariel.
All right,
Appreciate you.
there he is.
Appreciate you guys.
Yoel Romero, Malki Kawa. What a fascinating day. What a fascinating day it has been here on the MMA Hour.